I'm your science teacher. We are learning chapter 12, electricity. Now here what we are going to do today is the last two parts of our topic called heating effect of electric current. Now you must have observed many a times that your fan, when you run your fan, right, after some time like an hour or two, if you touch the bottom of your fan, you feel there's a heat at the bottom, right? Now, the fan purpose is to the motor will run and it will rotate. There is no point of having a heat over there. So, how does a heat come into existence over there? Okay, the question arises this one. So, we are thinking here, where does that heat come? Second thing. So, first thing is this one, the heat purpose. So, heating. So, this heating, how does it come into existence? Let me show you. I already show you once that if you take uh, the wire in this way, okay, and it has protons, that is your nucleus, and the electrons move around here, okay. Now what exactly happened here is, when you see these electrons, they don't, once this protons, or you can say this nucleus, it will vibrate on its own position. So when the electron go, it is going to collide with that. So the electron path is not straight. Electron path is going to be like this. So during this course, a heat is produced. During this course, the heat is produced. So this is how a heat is generated. Otherwise, the purpose of any device is not to produce any heat. So the heat will produce in this way. So what we are talking here is, the main purpose is this thing. So as in you see, the heat is generated in this way, right? Now, if we talk about this one, have a look, right? We know that a battery or a cell is a source of electric energy. The chemical reactions within the cell generate a potential difference between the terminal that sets the electrons through flowing motions, right? Now, what happens is there is a loss of energy. So the loss of energy comes in terms of heat. So the part of it is converted to do the work. The rest is dissipated in form of heat, right? And I told you, how does that heat is generated? The heat is generated in this way. Now, what we will do here is, so as what I said, as the as longer you are going to use the device, the more heat is going to generate. On the other hand, if the electric circuit is purely resistive, okay, it is continuous going to keep on dissipating entirely energy into form of heat. So there are certain devices which purpose is to generate only heat. The purpose of that is to generate only heat, okay. So this is the reason, as what I said. For example, your toaster, your hair dryer, right? Your hair straightener, all these things. The main purpose of them is to generate heat only. Fine. So I hope you are getting what I'm trying to say. The main purpose of electric, this thing. Now, how can you put it into this thing? So see, consider the current I flowing through a resistor R. Let the potential difference across it is B. So let the time during the charge across is Q. So what is the power we are going to use? So the power is what? Power is equal to, we learn, work upon time. Now here work is done on what? Charge. So it is, and the energy is given as this, and this is time only. Remember, we learned work is equal to force into displacement. Remember, this is what we learned in the ninth standard. Now here work is what? Instead of force, we are going potential difference, and the work is done in charge. So here we will write down our work in this way, right? Here we are going to write down our work in this way. Now Q upon T, we already learned what is Q upon T. Q upon T is I. We already learned I is equal to Q upon T. I is equal to Q upon T, and this is how we'll get it, okay? So I is equal to Q upon T. Fine? Are you getting what I'm trying to say? So what we are talking here is this thing. Clear? Getting me what I'm trying to say? So work can be done in these two forms, and it can be get in this way. Now, so work is equal to, we get VI. What do you get in terms of work? We get work as VI. V into I. Okay? So we get work as V upon I. Clear? I hope you are getting what I'm trying to say. Now, let's see next. Now, heat energy. Now, what is heat energy? Heat is energy is equal to H is equal to heat. Heat energy is represent H. H is equal to power into time. So, the more power you are going to use, the more heat energy is produced, and also the more time, amount of time you are going to use, the more heat energy is going to utilize. So, H is equal to P into T. Remember? Now, H is equal to P into T. Now, P is equal to VI. So, it is VIT. Now V is equal to Ohm's law. According to Ohm's law, we can write down V is equal to IR. So IR into I into T. So it is I square RT. Okay. So H is equal to I square RT. This is the equation of heat energy. H is equal to I square RT. So from this we can simply say one thing. What? That heat energy depends upon current. It depends upon resistance, and it depends upon time. So on three things heat energy depend upon. First, what did I say? Current, resistance, and time. So now think a little. The more the current, so it depends upon square of the current. Second, it depends directly proportional to resistance. So more is the resistance, the more the heater. Even your heater has the same thing. Electric heater has the same thing. And the third is the time. So more the time, more is the heat. More is the resistance, more is the heat. And more is the current, more is the heat. So basically it depends upon three things. Right? It depends upon three things. Clearly? Are you getting what I'm trying to say? So heat energy depends upon three things. Current, resistance, and time. Let me show you here. See. P is equal to VI. H is equal to VIT, right? And this equation, this is known as Joule's law, right? This is known as Joule's law, okay? So V is equal to, H is equal to I square RT, and finally you get this thing. So it basically depend upon three things, as what I said. Directly proportional to resistance, directly proportional to time, and directly proportional to current. It's clear and simple. Okay. Now, if we move ahead, practical applications, we have a lot of applications that works on heat energy, that is toaster, iron, oven, kettle, heater, so many things. They all works on Joule's law, right? Now, electric heating is also used to produce light. Yes. For example, the filament in a bulb. Remember the yellow bulb we used to use earlier? Now we are using LED bulb. The yellow bulb which we were using, in that, what we were doing? We were using Joule's law. The more heat the temperature will become, and the filament will increase. This is how it happened. Okay. Second thing, okay, now the melting point of that is 3380. Yes, that's the big temperature. That is the reason the filament will not get melt. otherwise it will melt. The bulbs are usually filled with chemical inactive nitrogen or argon. Why this thing happen? You know why this thing happen? Because the filament will not get burned. That is the reason we are not putting any oxygen in it. The bulb is put in a way that uh, that's why we put an inactive nitrogen and argon in it. Now another application of Joule's heating is fuse. Okay, we used to connect the fuse at our house in series connection. Why do we connect it in series connection? Because if one get diffuse, the whole circuit gets stopped. That is the reason we always connect our fuse in series connection, right? Now the wire which we use in our fuse, it is utilized in such a way that as soon as the voltage increases at certain level, it get melt because of Joule's heating. Clearly, then this melts the wire. Now how much uh, fuse, now how much ampere fuse you are required. So how much ampere fuse you are required, that depend upon how much current and voltage we are providing. Suppose we are using 1 kilowatt of power and at 220 watt, so if you take it, you get 4.54 ampere as a this thing current. Then what you do is you simply use 5 ampere. If you use less than that, then it is not going to work. Okay, now the last topic, what is power? We keep on using this word electricity, light, electricity, light. Now electric power is nothing but it is the energy dissipated or consumed in the electric circuit. We call it as power. That is P is equal to VI. When you convert it, it has gone into many equations. If you see P is equal to VI, again V is equal to IR, so IR into I, that makes it I square R. So this is one another equation. If you put V upon R instead of I, according to Ohm's law, again we get V square upon I. So we get 1, 2, 3 and 4 equations of power. Okay, now what is the unit of power basically? Remember the electricity what is measured in a home. How do you measure? Do you measure in volt? Right? No, we don't measure in volt. See the electricity bill come at your home. They used to write some unit over there. Okay, have a look. Now P, you know, P is equal to VI, but the SI unit of power is watt. SI unit of power is watt. Watt. Okay. 1 watt is equal to 1 volt into ampere. The unit of watt is very small. That's why they have converted the unit into 1 kWh. K stands for kilo, watt, hour. K stands for kilo, watt, hour. You are getting what I'm saying? Kilowatt hour. So this is one small thing you have to understand. Kilowatt hour. Okay. So kilowatt hour is the thing. Now kilo means 1000, watt is again watt, and hour is 3600 seconds. So it is 3612345 watt second. So it is 3.6 into 10 raised to 6. Now you know what is watt second. Watt second, if you write down, it is watt second is what? Joule. Right? You know, power is equal to work upon time. Power is watt, work is joule, and time is second. So I can easily write watt into second is joule. Watt into second is joule. Got it? Fine. So you understood what I'm saying? Watt into second is, we call it as joule. So 1 kWh. So 1 kWh. We also call it as 3.6 into 10 raised to 6 joule, but we call it also as 1 unit. So 1 unit is equal to 1 kWh is equal to 3.6 into 10 raised to 6 joule. Okay, and that is what they have explained you here. Now what is 1 unit, right? How can at your home the electricity is measured in units? The electricity is measured in units. So what is 1 unit? How can you say that your bill has increased or your meter has increased by 1 unit? Let's say you are taking a 1000 watt bulb. You are taking 1000 watt bulb. If you use this bulb for 1 hour, right, either continuous or in breakdowns. If in either continuous or breakdown, then we say 1 unit is consumed. Then what we say, if you use a 10 watt bulb, if you use 10 watt bulb, how many hours we are going to use that make it 1 unit? So if you use, we are going to use 100 hours. Yes, let's make it 1 unit. So understand. So if you're at your home, if you have an LED light, right? Think a little that if you use an LED light and a fan, try to see how many watt both are they. That is your homework. Try to see both, either a tube light, or if you keep your tube light on for let's say 5 hours and keep your fan on for 5 hours, you forgot to switch it off. What do you think? Who will consume more electricity, power? Try to find out the answer. I'm going to explain it tomorrow for the same. Right? This is very interesting. We can calculate how we can utilize our electricity. Even the people can easily go and buy AC. Right? Now think a little. Try to find out how many watt an AC can consume. Even that goes with the ratings like 3 star, 2 star, 5 star. So many things. So basically, this comes in our day to day life, right? How smartly you can use this, we can consume this or this, even the inverter based AC and all. Try to find out tomorrow. I'm going to talk regarding the same. So with this, we have completed our chapter. Now we just are left with our word problems that we'll see tomorrow. Okay. Thank you so much. That's it for a day. If you have any queries, please post me. Thank you.